sports, sorry.
Well, we left the duct tape in this.
Oh, we have more tape than that 10. That's pretty funny though.
Yep. The jacket
That's
first.
a good match. It was a great match.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Last one.
It's so important to not to pretend that Jerry is not in the room when I'm switching.
That's funny.
I do.
We get one or two of those. I have
Yep.
your tape too.
Okay, thanks.
As soon as you guys are done with that, eat.
Those guys are already warming up.
That's okay. I can take care of the intros. I can take care of the cameras. I want you guys to eat.
No one wants a skinny technical director.
No.
Oh, I love it. It's a good idea. Well, this will be this week. Because it's actually 5 o'clock, right? That's what I really got. Very impressive. All right, get it done, guy.
Well, you know, we try to. Yes, you got a line of sight in there. Oh, we're gonna pinch, I think.
Yeah. Food's in here. So.
Yep. I'm good. I do. Got my bag. Got it all. Hold on.
Do we want to bail on these cameras on this side?
It's almost like I live. Of course not.
See, I didn't think, I thought you did a good job of capturing where you were in the crowd. And that's why maybe we need to take your bags. It was awesome. Thank you. And you soon, Friday. Yeah, I know, but the crowd was such a big crowd.
It was. That's the, you can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
Yeah, so, that guy.
Keep it like that.
I think, can I look at it some more?
It's nice that the,
It's better than the test because of this, the shots that I saw.
Like our sunscreen?
That's awesome. I have the sunglasses ready, just in case. Where you going?
I was sitting here, but
Sounds good.
you sit here, I sit here. Hey guys, can we get the spin out of the way?
I think we're good. Yeah. If he's there, and as long as Kelly's not there, we're good. I thought it was going to be cloudy for a bit. It was for a second.
Yeah, it was. I was hoping for a little touch.
I don't think it affected anything yesterday, but it looks like it may today. Okay.
This is what really great. That's great.
She'll be the best player in the game next year. She might already be. Well, I mean, you got to give Abby her due if she comes back. And
Gabby and Joe representing the game right
Right.
She
might already be.
Sides, the overhead,
What I would like to do
follows.
is just concentrate on
Yeah,
getting
she's
over
really
it.
high.
Concentrate on getting
But she's
over
a
it.
step above her
I
for
think
athleticism.
most likely a lot more.
The only one that could be as good if she wants to play, and we'll see if she's not done. Saborn.
Right from right here to there.
Excuse me, can you do a big job with thinking email? Thank you. Besides thinking yourself as a tournament director. So
Yeah.
good. Jack.
Yes. Do you want me to do that here, or you want me to do that there?
I think we can do it both
Definitely,
places.
yeah, definitely
Let's
here.
do it during the stream. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Just do a nice,
Say it a couple of times.
just a nice, you know, because it's the end of the season. And
Yep.
I mean that was good. I like that. I like that presentation. I like it.
Kel, what's your time?
3 minutes. Less, but 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know you're 3 minutes. We're getting good. Our next one will even be better. Although I don't think it'll be quite as emotional. Oh, we got to do a Viking Keys to win it for this? I did already. Oh, you did? Did it.
Without you, Brad. You see that?
I don't know if I'll agree. We'll have to see.
Wait.
Only 45 minutes behind.
Which is on time.
It is a paddle tournament. But
Let's
next
see,
time we'll
called
schedule a
two
little more
matches
time.
that were 3 hours. I called 2 3-hour matches.
Both Sven's matches?
Yep.
How awesome is this?
Bottles of water if anybody wants it.
Pretty cool.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Quick one, thank you. Thanks, Bradford.
Nelly?
I know, there is one over here.
Gatorade.
So, what do you think?
What do I think about this?
Patience.
Oh, I got it.
Hey guys, before you go into serves, guys, before you go into serves real quick, take a second.
Yep.
I think you guys know the drill. You're calling all your own lines. I'm calling football without warning and clearing that violation. Do you guys have any questions?
Photographer.
You guys pick a side. You guys choose that side.
So they did get volleyed back. You know, it's not like it's winning.
You use it to fix when your camera. Oh yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine.
Yours has come down to. I think you're in the mix with it. Because they went and they had some pockets where they made errors. You know, they started the first set off where they were.
Second, right?
Yep, 4-1 on the second, but they were playing a good set, and then they actually had a bad patch where they made like 4, 5, 6 errors. You know, as a matter of fact, just kept playing decently. Palmer missed a couple. They also had decided early on that they're gonna, you know, they're hitting Broderick's overheads and every time.
Alright, ready when you fellas are.
Right.
We got 3 ads, that's
Play
it.
well. Don't you
Just
play
3.
well. It's fine, we got them.
I'll give this one to Brad.
Yeah, thank God.
Alright, fellas, let's end strong. Have a good match.
Final.
Welcome to the 2020 APTA National Championships, presented by our local sponsor BTIG and APTA national sponsors Viking and Uline. We are live from the Country Club of Darien in Connecticut on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel, bringing you the men's final round action between the number 3 seeds of Johan Randt and Stephen Mitchell and the number 7 seeds of Drew Broderick and Jared Palmer. So, Mark, why don't we take a quick look at the players on the court?
So at the top left of our screen, in the black hat and the blue shirt is Johan Randt, probably the most explosive player ever to play the game.
Yeah.
His partner, the ever-improving Stephen Mitchell, in the sunglasses and the gray sweatshirt, has been getting better day by day. And we just lost Broderick Palmer. But Drew Broderick is the lefty with the very long hair, I might note, who'll be playing the ad side. And his partner, Jared Palmer, who's maybe the most accomplished tennis player ever to venture onto the courts of the paddle world. So tremendous matchup, Brad. Not altogether different than when we were here in Darien in 2016. At that point, it was Durant Parsons, not Durant Mitchell. But what are your thoughts on the match?
Ask them how I'm
Well,
doing
my
on
first
time
thought
for
is that it
announcements.
actually is different. Because to me, clearly you can say, and I was mentioning this before, that,
Yeah, by 2 inches.
Johan Durant and Mark Parsons, they were dominating the world. They went a whole season without losing barely a set. And
that,
then
you're
along
my
comes
best
Broderick,
friend.
and he's basically
that, you're my
Durant
best friend.
kryptonite. He beats him
Yeah.
almost every time. But I think the difference is this is a different Durant, a more mature Durant. And back in that day, Broderick would beat him by getting every ball back. And Durant would just try to get harder and harder and hit more
gotta do
difficult
announcements first,
difficult
guys.
shots as it went along. I think
gotta
this
get
is
a
a
word
different
from the live
Durant.
stream
I
crew.
think he's looking to come out here and win this.
Okay, let's allow our chair umpire, Marshall Chapin, to introduce the players.
Hey guys, live stream says it could be up to 5 minutes. It could be less. So hang on. Don't get ready yet.
Well, we're going to give him the thumbs up and see if he can get ready to go.
All right, they're ready to announce. No, we're ready to go. They're actually ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the APTA's 2020 National Championships at the Country Club of Darien. This men's final match is best of 3 sets with tie breaks in the first and second sets. In the event of a third set at 6-all, the match will be played out until one team wins by 2 games. To my right, standing in the ad court from Summit, New Jersey, Drew Broderick. His partner, standing in the deuce court from Menlo Park, Jared Palmer. To my left, standing in the deuce court from Wayland, Massachusetts, Johan Durant. His partner, standing in the ad court from Natick, Massachusetts, Stephen Mitchell. Broderick Palmer won the toss and elected to defer. Durant Mitchell elected to receive.
So here we
Players
go.
ready?
Jared Palmer to
Play.
serve to Johan Durant. And Brad, let's elaborate in the first 2 games on that thought pattern you had, because it was a similar conversation that Patty Hogan and I had.
Yeah, I just think Durant back in that day, when he played Broderick would get every ball back, and it would frustrate Durant. He didn't want to play any paddle. He just wanted to hit another spectacular shot. And he was forced
15
to play
love.
more and more, and he had that shot clock that we talked about. But that, to me, is gone. I don't see that shot clock this year. And I see he and Mitchell having a very specific way of playing together. And we just saw Mitchell hit a great return there. Mitchell's ability to hit returns at forehands and his ability to volley are sort of the rock that kind of keeps the team together. And Johan's ability to do basically everything, finish points with the overheads, tack, move at the net, cut balls off, just adds that element that just ends points for the team.
Okay, well, having said that, let's take a sneak peek at the Viking keys to winning, which I think will echo your thoughts. Oh, huge forehand from Palmer.
Yeah.
So for Broderick and Palmer, to me, it was tempo. They're going to want to play slow, obviously.
Wow.
Broderick's backhand, which was just a force in the semifinals. And then finally, not lose a lot of points on return to serve.
Yeah, I think, Broderick and Palmer certainly will have that in their mind, not lose a lot of points on a return and serve. And his backhand, he was being very aggressive with middle positioning in the matches I've seen him play, and cutting off balls and peppering backhands. Not each one isn't like the hardest backhand I've ever seen, but he spots it, hits it
15
low, hard,
all.
and he moves it around. And he was, dictating play a lot with his backhand.
And the keys to winning: patience, be willing to play the middle, which has been one of the hallmarks of the new Durant, not forcing the action. Oh, look at that ball move. Oh.
I've never seen that. A cut overhead slow
15,
shot
30.
through the middle. That is fantastic.
A dominate return to serve. That's what happened in the semis against Hughes and Powers, is they were on every return to serve, constantly taking over the net or winning points.
And you could actually say Hughes and Powers didn't react to that well. They kept trying to serve and volley.
They never changed it up.
Yep.
And then finally, and this is more for Mitchell than anybody else, the other 3 guys have been on the court for many national finals, probably between the 3 of them somewhere close to 18 to 20, if I had to count them up. So for Mitchell to embrace the moment. Oh, great forehand. Nope. And Mitchell's got to be careful of that in transition.
30 all.
Ah, caught him. Great shot. Do you think the
30-40.
sun will be a factor today?
I don't think it'll affect the broadcast too much, Brad. I think we're going to be okay. Kelly Diesel put up a little sunscreen for us, and I don't think it's going to be that big an issue.
We're good.
Yeah, you know, it's a big advantage having a left-hander. Oh, what a volley from Palmer off a rip from Mitchell.
Yep.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, sun was bad yesterday, but it didn't seem to have a big impact on the match. Now we're an hour earlier with the time change, so we'll see.
You know, one of the things that's interesting about this matchup, too, I know Broderick probably would, I think he likes playing Randt in the sense that he's kind of owned him a little bit in the last bunch of times over the last times they've played.
1 game to love.
But in this matchup here, what they've been doing with Broderick, he's been taking 80 to 90% of the overheads and hammering them into the deuce corner. But if Durant's going to stay in that deuce corner, there's that cut, slow winner, and it completely fooled Jared Palmer. It would have fooled me, too, because 90% of the time a guy's hitting that, they're spiking it
Drew,
hard.
Can you just kick that in a little bit? You guys spin the
Incredible
ball a little
shot.
bit.
But he's been hammering
you.
balls into the deuce court, and with Randt there, it may not be as easy.
You know, I would argue he owned the old Johan Durant.
It's a very fair point, Mark. We were talking about that, of course.
Love 15.
And the new Johan Durant even has a new serve with the
Side on.
underhand, which he misses there.
Misses the
Love
overhead.
30.
That was the old Johan Durant. The new Johan Durant showing up shortly.
Well, if sun is an issue, it would, I think, benefit Broderick and Palmer.
You know, I'm rethinking my position that it's not going to affect the broadcast, Brad.
Yeah, our sunscreen just fell down, and it's like we're standing on the sun here in the booth.
Another
That's
miss
a
for
great
Broderick.
15-30.
And this is where I expect to see them 70% of the time, Brad. Durant Mitchell at the net.
Yep.
Broderick Palmer in the backcourt.
But there's been a lot of offense. The most I've seen from Broderick this weekend. Great read from Durant. Stands in, knows the cut's coming.
Oh, great pickup from Mitchell. That ball was behind him.
You know, I think one of the interesting storylines in this match, too, is not only just, of course, the Durant and Broderick matchup, is what do these players kind of have to prove? They don't have anything to prove, per se, but, you know, for Broderick and Palmer, it's been a couple of years, right? And could you imagine a better scenario for Drew Broderick than winning a national championship, taking a partner who's just come out in the last couple of weeks to start playing for the year?
Remarkable that they're here. I mean, Broderick has not had a good year by his standards.
Well, he's had a hard time finding a partner.
But 3-4 years ago, he just won tournaments with every picked up. It was remarkable. And this year, he just hasn't played up to the level. Look, and it's a level that 99% of the guys would love to find. But for Drew Broderick, it was a drop.
Right. And then you got Durant, who, of course, was at the top of the mountaintop.
15-40.
But he seems to be back this year ready and willing to commit. And he's been, since I've seen it, on a mission with Steve Mitchell since they've been going at it. And they've been playing beautiful paddle. And coming in, they were the odds-on favorite, according to Michael Montalbano.
Well, Mark Parsons wouldn't bite on it, but I really think Parsons winning last year lit a bit of a fire under Durant. You know how
Possibly.
competitive he is. No one likes seeing their partner go win the Nationals without them. And you lose in the 16s.
And that's sort of what I'm alluding to, is there's a thing for everybody to prove out here. You know, for Broderick not having a great year, coming out back with his old partner to do this. For Steve Mitchell, who's probably, if not the most improved player on the tour, certainly in the top 2 or 3, right? And for Randt, there's a lot to prove for everybody out there. Prove for Mitchell that he belongs, that he can be on this stage here.
This would be national championship number 4 for both. Oh, what a get from Palmer.
Point goes on.
National championship number 4 for both Randt and for Palmer, and number 5 for Broderick.
Yep. We'll expect to see a lot of these points.
Last year was the first national finals without one of these 3 players since 2009. To give you an idea how they've been so dominant, along with Mark Parsons.
Oh, great shot. And they were able to get him there. And if
30,
Durant is
40.
patient enough, the real key is how, other than continuing to lob, and I've seen Broderick be extremely offensive and a lot of great shots out there. That's
Game Broderick Palmer.
Nice break back.
Score is 1-all first set.
A few careless misses there from Durant.
But that's the key. If Durant and Mitchell can stay super composed, solid at the net, we'll see how Broderick and Palmer are going to be able to hurt them.
Broderick taking a serve.
Ah, great blitz from Mitchell, but so good up there is Jared Palmer.
In hand-to-hand combat, there's just nobody better than Broderick Palmer.
Oh, Mitchell!
What a get from Mitchell.
Incredible get.
Fly-by volley.
Beautiful transitioning from all players. And a terrific read from Mitchell. Broderick was able to hit 3 or 4 of those in his last match.
15 love.
Some careless errors early. Durant Mitchell. Great serve from Broderick there.
30 love.
Brad, a big shout out to everybody who helped with the APTA Golf Course Initiative. Special thanks to Chuck Kennedy down at the Peachtree Club in Georgia. Just been amazing and really helped us raise a lot of money to benefit public paddle around the country. Point for our first hold of the day. Boy, Broderick is just bringing it on the serve.
No, he's on a mission. He is attacking all go. He's been working really hard, testament to his fitness. He's incredibly active on every point. There you see him again, just firing it up in a place where you wouldn't see him, and he's bringing the offense.
Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA, of APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of course of the APTA Grand Prix Tour. Anything surprise you early, Brad?
Nothing surprises me early yet. I think Durant and Mitchell are going to have to be a lot more careful up at the net. It seemed as though they're getting a little bit surprised by some of the offense that's coming. And they've made just a couple loose errors.
Love.
Yeah, I don't know that they were surprised by the offense. I was surprised by some of the misses. I mean, Mitchell missed an overhead last game that...
Yeah. And that's what Broderick's been doing, just stepping to the middle and stuffing backhands. And I think his, we talked about it in a match we called before, Mark. His success rate on the backhand is the #1 in the country. And I could see why, because he was making 8, 10 drives in a row, spotting them.
15 all.
And they're working Palmer over.
Palmer's had and seen a lot of balls. There were a ton of rollers hit into his court by Mikir Doya, and a lot of stretches. He's so long. They were actually able to hurt Palmer,
30-15.
and Burrish with the roller off of Palmer's right hip.
Do you think fatigue will be at all a factor, Brad? I mean, they played over 3 hours in the semis.
It's possible. I don't think so at all for Broderick. It's possible for Palmer. I would doubt it, but we'll have to see.
I mean, Durant Mitchell had a relatively easy, I wouldn't say easy, but straightforward win. You know it's not going to be a factor for them.
Yeah, the mental fatigue is always what you worry about in some of these matches too. Great little sneaky drive there. I think Palmer and Broderick use more off-pace, mid-pace drives than any other team. Sort of keeping it low, push you in, pull you back, push you in, pull you back.
That's going to be dangerous against Durant, though. He loves to close the net and hit that drop shot.
That's if he's expecting it and he's closing. So far, they've hit about 10 in this point, and each time they've had both Mitchell and Durant off the net.
Yeah, when the first season that Broderick, oh, what a volley from Durant.
No, too
The
good.
first season that Broderick Palmer played together, first half of the year,
30 all.
Palmer was susceptible to the drop shot because he had so many off-pace drives. I remember Sebastian Bredberg giving him fits with that when they beat them at Sound Shore. And their Durant was looking for it.
And there is still some susceptibility. I mean, I think Burrish hit 4 or 5, but for the 4 or 5 Burrish hit, they might have caught him in a moment. But there is some susceptibility. And in some set, it sort of works as their overall game plan with some of it, meaning they just keep body punching you, Broderick Palmer. Soften you up, move you back. Yeah, he's just been so good with that drive. Sticking it early.
30-40.
Mitchell didn't get back into position. Broderick's backhand offense taken over.
Game Broderick Palmer. They lead the first set 3-1.
They're going to have to rethink dumping that ball down the middle. Broderick's coming over.
After winning the first game, that's 3 in a row.
Yep.
Jared Palmer missed a forehand. Make a note of that, Brad. 4:12 p.m.
You should date it as well. March 8th, 4:12 p.m., 2020. Jared Palmer missed a forehand.
When you say the sun's been a factor in the match yet?
No.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was going wide.
Oh, he's got him there, but what a shot from Palmer.
Sure looked like he had him. I was with you, Brad.
I mean, he's so long. Reaches out. And he flips it. Basically, that ball spent 90% of the time out of bounds. It would have gone in, though. This is the product play. He's been crushing that backhand mercilessly, not missing one. Just missed one.
Love 30.
For a little tighter spot. That's a little long.
That was a little wild.
Love 40.
Just an amazing scene here at CCD, Brad. Must be 1,000 people hanging off the stands. Standing room only.
Yeah, it's packed. The activity, you know, and Macy Elliott winning the women's final before, really a special thing.
Just an amazing moment. The whole crowd chanting for Macy. Eminem, Macy and Marcella.
He's got that one.
Oh, what a lob from Mitchell. Talk about some athleticism. Look at that little flick. Can't do that with the backhand, can you?
That's good.
Little cat and mouse there, and the cat was Durant and the mouse was Palmer.
Game Durant Mitchell. Broderick Palmer lead the first set.
Yeah, I got to say, Brad,
3-2.
the scene here at CCD, this plan conceived by Carl Levinat is just absolutely brilliant. Horseshoe-like environment, the crowd, deafening roars. You know, all kudos to the Nationals Committee, Tiernan, Kavana, Carl Levinat, Annie Waldron, you know,
Jackie Cameron.
Jackie Cameron. I mean, the whole crew, just Kelly McCoy, Newton, just everybody did a tremendous job. The guys from ENET, Kelly Diesel, ENET's #1 producer, has been absolutely amazing all weekend.
I think John would have something to say about that.
John who?
I don't even know.
Okay. Jerry Vion for all hard work, they put together the Cameron angles, dealing with the sun on the temporary courts. Just been a great team effort. The whole APTA staff, and Sheedy, Nindy Pike, all the volunteers. Stephanie Dupree, Wendy Harris, Johan.
Oh, he's
Love
going
missed
for
another
a
one.
little short-cut volley there. Yeah, we've seen a bunch of errors that are going to have to come out of the Mitchell-Durant game. That's a great cut. Oh. You know, most people play in position and try to get a Johan Durant, just moseys over, one steps it back with a lunge.
Johan Durant's always in position. But you've already seen a significant difference in the match in terms of Durant's ability to drive the ball through.
Well, Broderick and Palmer are one of the best teams at the net. They've always been, they still are, very hard to get it through them. Broderick plays exceptional position and is just a terrific volleyer, takes most of the balls with his backhand and rarely misses.
You know, Brad, one of the things we've worked so hard on this year is you're being a little more definitive. And I would say without question, Broderick Palmer are the best team in the country at the net. I don't even know who you would say is in their league. What a get from Palmer, off balance. This is where they're so good. You think you have the .1 and then you got to start over.
Ah, great point.
15 all.
amazing to me how much faster Broderick Palmer played today in the semi and to the start of the final than they did in the quarter against Araya Parsons. Now, that may have been a function of Araya's impatience, but there they just were content to dump, dump, dump.
Yeah, they've been speeding up the point plenty. And in the match I called, Broderick was taking many drives from that center of the court, baiting him, setting him up. And then when it came down to important points, though, it would shrink back down to a really tight play.
And that match came down to a Sven Burish service game at 3-4 in the third.
Yeah, it was a terrific match. Great effort by everybody out there. That's a great shot. Beautiful ball.
You know, it's not often you say about a ball off the wires, Brad, it was too low to get it over the net.
Yeah,
that ball dropped so far by the time he chased it down.
Now, it's not part of what Mitchell and Randt have done all season, but Mitchell has a really good roller, to the deuce court especially. And the ability of Verdoya to hurt Palmer some of the time with that shot was very useful.
He didn't use it at all in the semis against John Hughes. I don't know whether that was part of the game plan, just keep play nice and slow.
Well, I think putting a roller in against Hughes is always a little dicey because you don't want to speed it up necessarily against Hughes. You know, against John Hughes, you're better off dumping it than speeding it up.
We haven't seen the roller from him today at all.
But I don't think it's part of what they think of as a game plan. He'll use it every now and then if he just gets a ball. Picking away.
Yeah, that's the type of volley you just can't miss. And we haven't seen Mitchell miss that volley too much all year.
It's a different feel. Not at all, but it's sort of a different feel when somebody's picking away the way they are. I mean, you wouldn't even say that was a killer drive, right, Mark?
No, absolutely not.
But it was the 10th drive or the 12th drive. You know, they're making you hit one after another, defend each ball.
One of the things we talked about in the last match and during the interview with Randt and Mitchell was they're buddies. They play together a lot. They used to be neighbors. They have a business together. SA Rackets. They do paddle camps together. Good call there from Randt.
40-30.
And I think that's really helped his game because when he played with Parsons, they only played together in tournaments. They never practiced.
Game Durant-Mitchell. Score is 3-all, first set.
Okay, back on serve.
Good hold there. Couple of misses from Broderick. You will see that from time to time. He loves the low lob, Broderick. He pushes it up quickly and low, and then he moves to the middle and looks for the fast strike after. And occasionally he'll push it a little long.
Oh, that ball was out by a foot.
I'm surprised. Hard to say. It was coming in, but I think he probably would have been wide. Clearly, Palmer didn't think so.
Yeah, I think Palmer thought so after he hit it.
Yeah.
Saw him looking down to see where he made contact, and Broderick faults.
Love 30.
A big shift after 3 consecutive games for Broderick Palmer. Durant-Mitchell, take this one. It'll be the same 3-game sweep.
Yep. And it all starts. I mean, in that game there, you saw, the last game, it was tight up until we had 2 Broderick misses, a missed lob and then a missed drive. It's been just subtle errors. Otherwise, on balance, the game's just dead even. Just some subtle errors here and there.
Smart shot by Broderick in transition. He knows Randt is just lurking up there. Oh, he misses the volley.
15-30.
Do you think the temperature has an impact, Brad? I mean, all of a sudden, after a couple of cold days, it's warm out there.
I think for sure it could have an impact. Palmer puts his hands up. He got hit.
15-40.
Didn't want to get hit twice in a row.
It's just good that he called it. It's great sportsmanship. Yeah, Mitchell bringing that return. Definitely going to be a component in this match. I didn't get to see that semifinal with Hughes Powers, but I heard he was crushing returns.
On fire.
And if he's doing that, that's just an element that's very hard. You got, you know, the Randt return is relatively automatic. Ah, so good in transition.
So smooth. It never looks like he's moving fast, but he's always there waiting.
Mitchell's a little off the net. He's got to get tighter.
$30-40.
Another opportunity to go up a break.
Missed the return.
Deuce.
That's a heck of a half volley lob there from Mitchell.
Do you teach that at Garden City Country Club?
Well, the half volley, taking the ball on the rise is really important. So we teach versions of it, but it really depends on the level of the clinic, Mark.
That'd be a pretty high-level clinic, Bradford.
It would.
Next time I'm down there, maybe you can work with me on it.
I don't think you're at the level.
Yeah,
you
I
might not be
think
at
so.
the level. No, but it's funny you talk about taking the ball on the rise or taking a block lob quickly, changing the tempo. You had mentioned in the keys to winning, the Viking keys to winnings, we're talking about tempo. And one of the ways you can change is by taking the ball on the rise or letting the ball go through and play off the screens. Ooh. Broderick slowing things down, and he's going to keep doing it until he finds the one opportunity, and he moves quickly, like kind of like a snake. He sneaks over there and quick backhand drives, and then they come in a flurry.
Randt kind of jumped in front of Mitchell there. Great volley from Steven.
Well, with the off-pace drives, if you can have a player close to the net who's cutting it off and hitting drop volleys, it's very useful. If both players are off the net, they can off-pace drive all day long. And this is what I love about Broderick Palmer. They recognize it's a big point. So all of a sudden you see no misses, everything drying up, and
what the hell are you doing to him,
I
Brad?
Ended the point for him.
Advantage Randt Mitchell.
Brad, that's really unfair.
Yeah, how I did that.
Don't use your power in the finals.
It was unintentional use. Do you think that's a reasonable defense? Oh,
what a
Broderick.
volley from Broderick.
I mean, you can't blitz better than that. And you can't defend better than Broderick did. Incredible stuff.
There in a nutshell is why they're so good. And Mitchell gets beat with the spin.
And we'll see if that comes back
Deuce.
later, because we have seen occasional times where the spin still has gotten Mitchell a little bit, as much as he's one of the most improved players in the country.
That's some pickup from Broderick there.
But that's just, that last point is just a testament how good Broderick is at the net, right? Because 9 times out of 10 you lose that point, right? And he's one of the few guys who has a shot at winning. And
I might argue 10 times out of 10 you'll lose that point.
you can't be that certain.
It's Johan Randt. Okay, 10 times out of 10 when he's not facing you.
Oh, great play. Nice fist pump from Palmer.
Advantage, Broderick Palmer.
Couple of break points saved, and now Broderick Palmer.
I would say stolen.
Yeah. That's out.
Yep.
Ser-
Ball was wide. Ball
Service
was
called
wide.
out,
Yes, it
confirmed
was.
by chair umpire
was wide.
Marshall Chapin.
Yeah, Broderick was certain it was in. He was getting ready to switch
Deuce.
sides. Good job by the umpire. Oh. That's just good.
I think Durant wants to hit that ball, Brad.
He was making it clear.
I think Broderick's the best I've ever seen at staying on his backhand volley.
Yeah, he's amazing at it. He rarely, I mean, he'll take a forehand volley, but it's almost never. And he's so good at moving his position and knowing where the drives are coming and coming from.
I mean, to me, everybody talks about his patience, and there's no question that's amazing. But his volleying is just stunningly good to me.
Oh! Falls on the wrong side for Durant
Advantage,
Mitchell.
Broderick Palmer.
Game point for Broderick.
Big roars from the huge crowd.
Oh,
And again, Broderick manages to get out of the exchange unscathed, even though he was in a much worse position.
smartly used the lob volley there.
And a retreat.
That's going to be a tough dig. Nice shot from Durant, beautifully played.
You know, if Drew Broderick can't dig it,
Deuce.
it's a tough dig.
Yeah, but that play there, that's a good one. If they can keep the ball low and make Palmer move up the line, it opens up the court for some possibilities. That's a terrific offensive volley.
Now, the last two or three
Advantage,
balls
Durant
Durant hit
Mitchell.
through, Broderick smartly lobbed and regrouped. There he tried to drive the ball, and he got beaten in transition, and he's got to be careful about that.
And he also got closer to the net there, which was great for Durant. Ooh, seamer.
When Wanaraya used to play against Nick to go with the seamer, when Wanaraya played against Durant, he used to have a rule that every time Durant drove the ball through you, you had to lob it.
Yep.
Because he was so good in transition. He closed the net off so well. This game is turning into quite a battle.
It's taken on. Do you think when games go like this, they take on added importance, Mark?
Absolutely.
You know, both teams with opportunities. Clearly, Durant Mitchell had a couple of break points to start it off.
And virtually the whole game has been played with Randt Mitchell at the net. Well, there's a ball. He looked like he was fighting the sun. Another missed lob from Broderick.
Advantage, Durant Mitchell.
Just great.
What a
cut
pickup
off
from Durant!
I mean, Palmer hit a terrific volley behind
Game,
Durant.
It was
Durant
past him.
Mitchell.
It was, and
They
he
lead the
flicked
first
it.
set 4-3.
And was able to
my
get it over.
God, that was amazing. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials
Steve
to
Duval.
businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every
Young.
day, but they're so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience. Boy, Brad, tremendous play. 7 terrific games.
Yeah, that was a great
Li-
break.
little dodgy the first couple games, but the last few games have been just terrific, high-level play.
Yep, 3 in a row for Randt and Mitchell, down 3-1. Ooh.
So trying one with the new
It's
ball.
a practice serve. Always a good idea. And actually, funny enough, most of this was, I mean, I think on balance the points were very good, Mark. And they're what we wanted to do. They just were able to, Randt and Mitchell would stand all the play, and then Broderick and Palmer actually made a couple of errors, you know.
Tremendous overhead there from
love.
Durant.
Little confusion. Broderick's been coming over a lot to that middle.
There's the drop shot we talked about.
Yep. If you're ready to close and you can see those off-pace drives coming, you can get that opportunity.
And a lot of the guys like to do that to Drew Broderick, kind of bait him on the forehand, make him drive that short forehand.
Yep. It's actually one of the shots that isn't as easy for him. You know,
Great
that's
shot there from
15-0.
Broderick.
great flick from about an inch off the net, of the ground.
And it went about an inch off the net.
It went an inch off the net, yep. I got all my sentence in just a couple of words.
You're so eloquent. Look at that ball jump off the wires. That's a ball Broderick would never dream of lobbing with his backhand.
Yeah, he picks away with that backhand so well. Ah, great. Durant reading that. You got to be careful when you switch the play like that. I like that shot. And just like with Broderick and Palmer, with Broderick taking all the overheads, with Mitchell and Durant, it's Durant hitting all the overheads.
And again, you saw Durant jump the net there.
Well, it's a great job. He's closing,
Great
right?
overhead.
He's seeing those mid-pace drives, and that's a
30-15.
crucial component to defending against Broderick and Palmer.
More positive energy from Durant. Big fist pump after that one. Broderick slowing play down.
Ooh. It's going to get hit. Yep. Oh. That's the sun. There you go. So Broderick actually struggling a little. Missed it wide.
Missed it wide.
And unfortunately, that point came down to
40-15.
Broderick not being able to see those overheads.
Which is so interesting because you'd think that Broderick Palmer would have an advantage with the lefty and a different look.
Well, if you look at the way the sun's coming in, Broderick was on that left side of the screen there, and the sun angle is coming into the left, so he was just compromised. So on this side of the court, whereas the only side that matters, the sun's actually much worse for Broderick.
And there's another mistake, and it's
Game,
4
Durant,
consecutive
Mitchell.
games and
They
a
lead the first set,
5-3 lead for
5
Durant
games
Mitchell.
to 3.
So we
And
were
they're-
talking before about the possibility that it's going to help Broderick and Palmer, but we made a mistake. As the sun's moving around, it's going to get wider and in here, and there's only one side where the sun matters, right? And it's going to be against. Oh, what a shot
volley
by
from
Palmer.
Palmer.
It's going to be not in Broderick Palmer's favor. You see the sun
15
angle going
love.
right into him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Only Johan Durant could be that calm with his back to the play in the middle of a Nationals final. See him turn and slowly go back. Oh boy, everybody thought that ball was out. Didn't get
It
called.
looked out to me, but the shadows on the court are difficult. So.
Well, it looked out to Palmer. He stopped playing.
That's interesting how great these sports are out here. That's
Durant looks really juiced up right now.
Oh, I think he's ready for this, you know. We had the pleasure of having Mark Parsons in the booth.
It's kind of an oxymoron, Bradford. I could
Pleasure.
understand if you said you had to endure having Mark Parsons in the booth.
Wow, that looked out to me too, but
Yeah, I thought that one was good,
Okay.
but not by much.
oh, great close again from Durant. That's a great pace. Mitchell got a clear to give Durant some space to hit his shots. Ah, great get.
But I think if you're Durant Mitchell, it's a real smart play because you're bringing Broderick Palmer to the net in
30
the sun.
love.
Yeah, if it's truly, I mean, he hit that overhead, but point before, he was struggling. Ooh, rare return miss. from
40
Durant.
love.
It's a practice swing. You don't see that often.
Help, help, help.
Oh, what a backhand there by Randt. Beautiful shot.
40-15.
I also want to thank Carrie Rebuse and Michael Montalbano for all their help on the fun committee.
Did you try the escape room, Mark?
I had a couple other things I had to do this weekend to get me out of there, Bradford. I did want to do it. It just didn't happen.
40-30.
I actually heard you just couldn't get out of the escape room.
I'm neither going to confirm nor deny that comment.
It's a smart thing to do.
40 love to 40-30.
Oh! And a couple of missed forehands there from Durant.
Game, Broderick Palmer, Durant Mitchell lead the first set 5-4.
So what I was talking about, you know, briefly before, we had Mark Parsons in the booth, and he said that Durant is dialed in, and he's been practicing all the time with Mitchell. They're ready for this. And he's on a mission, and clearly, so far so good. But we'll see. We always know the hardest thing in the world to do is to close out a paddle set. We'll see if they can do it. You can hear all the murmurs in the crowd. It cannot be a nicer day, Mark. It's got that feel about it.
Springtime.
Yep. Daylight savings.
Okay. Johan Durant to serve for the set.
Oh, Broderick. I mean, Palmer just pulling the
15
trigger on the
love.
second one. Tough shot.
And Durant puts so much pressure on you from the net.
It's one of the things, though, that that Palmer does is a miss serve. He's missed a couple.
15-all.
He got very tight serving for the match. Faulted several times.
I heard 3 out of 4 match points he faulted.
Yep. One overhand, just all of a sudden out of the blue, tried an overhand serve.
Oh,
Palmer again pulling the trigger too fast.
he's a little quick. on some of those,
30-15.
but one of the things I like that Palmer does is he keeps you guessing on the pace. You know, he hits a lot of these off pace, and every now and then he just dials it up. He ratchets the pace.
Yeah, that's indecision from Mitchell. He's kind of bailing, but
30
then not.
all.
Yep.
Just really a mental mistake there.
And he went for the hard overhand serve that time. And it bounced up high. Give a nice little look for.
Oh, correction, the ball was good.
Yep. 40-30 now.
Broderick
Called good.
overruled on a big call.
40-30.
Tough to hear here, but it looked good to me.
Yep.
It's tough to say from our angles, though.
Yeah, hard angle with all the shadows, but that's what Marshall Chapin's out there for, to make tough decisions. Set point. And he goes overhand again.
Yep.
Catches the nick. Great recovery from Palmer.
Great roller. Oh. Oh, and
There's
surprised
the
to
set.
see him.
Game,
Steve
Durant
hit
Mitchell.
that
They
one.
win the first set 6-4.
Wow.
All right, so first set to Randt Mitchell, and we'll be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
No.
Welcome back to the APTA Grand Prix Series. We're in the men's final round between our number 3 seeds, Durant and Mitchell, and the number 7 seeds of Broderick and Palmer, where Durant and Mitchell took the first set 6-4. So great set and interesting. What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, a set like that is decided by a point here, a point there. I mean, literally nothing.
Just waiting. They come back from live stream.
And the decision at the end of the set, Broderick drives a ball where he's a little bit deeper in the court. Wade is not going forward so much. He misses. Maybe if he doesn't hit that one, they win the point, they win the game, they win the set.
Yeah, who knows? Right, it really did come down to just a few balls here and there. A couple of, actually it was a little bit of a back and forth with the errors. A couple of early misses from Durant and Mitchell, which led to them getting down 3-1. And then you had a couple of misses as they were coming back, and the misses dried up a little for Durant and Mitchell. So,
see, there Broderick's getting into the transition game, and I think that's a mistake. Got away with it there. They lose the
great
point
shots.
anyway. But those are the types of points they
Love
don't want to play,
15.
with the net exchanging hands, 3-4 shots in a row.
Yep.
Because there's nobody as good as Johan Durant at that game.
No, when Broderick is in there, he's as good as anybody. But in transition, Durant definitely has the advantage.
See the pickup from Broderick there?
Followed
Tweener?
by the cutter. Great job from Mitchell reading these cut overheads from Broderick.
He kind of circled that one.
Oh,
Was that a mishit lob
Love
spike?
30.
it was a spike miss hit. Sometimes he cuts it two ways, hard and low and high floater. Either way he cut it, he mishit it. So, and that's not a Sun issue. The Sun's is back now. Missed it wide.
15-30.
Nope.
Another fault from Broderick.
15-40.
I tell you, that you asked me what the difference in the first set was. How about the 3-all add-in serve from Broderick that Mitchell missed that looked like game Broderick Palmer? It turned out to be out.
Yep.
The game was won by Durant Mitchell.
Yeah, that game was a crucial game. We were talking about that game. Durant Mitchell had a couple of break points and then weren't able to cap it. It looked like Broderick Palmer had their chance to get it back, and Ended up going Durant Mitchell's way. That's terrific.
Little two-hand swing volley there from Palmer.
Yep. Anyway, he volleys. It's always good.
And again, this spin gets Mitchell. You know Broderick's going to
30,
find him
40.
whenever he can right now. Another break opportunity. Oh, what a pickup from Broderick.
That beautiful half volley. Mitchell a little deep in the court.
Deuce.
But again, Broderick stealing a point.
Just by making that first half volley and not getting it blitzed. Oh.
Randt tells you to hit it, you got to hit it.
Oh.
Questionable decision there from Palmer.
Advantage Durant Mitchell.
Well, there is a spot where you wonder, you know, if the play. They did drill and play all week, so Palmer's had a lot of court time. But the decision making and everything. Oh, another terrific volley from from Broderick. Oh.
Boy, they are stealing points to stay in this match.
Yep. Surviving. Sometimes that's what it takes. And we all know Broderick Palmer, they're going to do whatever it takes, whatever they can. That was close.
You like that decision? You don't like that decision?
I mean, it's
Advantage
high,
Broderick
it's in the middle of
Palmer.
the court, it's a very playable ball. So I can't fault the decision.
Yeah, I think it was the right ball to swing at.
Yeah, and you have Palmer off the net. Not that he's sure of that, but either way, it's a good ball to hit. I don't have a problem with it. But
Huge hold.
execution's a big part of that in every way,
Game
shape, or
Broderick
form.
Palmer. They
You
lead
would
the
think
second
that-
set 1-0. Durant Mitchell won the first set 6-4.
Durant and Mitchell had the better of that game, but they couldn't execute the right balls. And like you said, Mark, they stole a couple of points with a couple of really crucial pickups and volleys. And then at the end, they just couldn't execute a couple of reasonably, you know,
Last two misses were
reasonably
say
easy
routine.
forehands and backhands. Yep. But then again, we could say the same about maybe one of the shots that Broderick missed with a lob or something else. So great hold there for Broderick and Palmer. Start this set off on the right foot. Because after being up 3-1, lost 5 out of the next 6 games.
It's interesting that Broderick keeps hitting that same lob in the middle, the one where
15
Durant
love.
can really load and hit all the spin on it. When Parsons and Araya beat them in Philly, they were lobbing cross court. Parsons especially was a lobbing cross court to Durant to prevent him from spinning the ball like that.
And the reason why, so we should get into that a little bit, is because when you make a guy move to the left, part of the load is to be able to come around the outside of the ball. And when you make a guy move to his left, which is what would happen if they lob cross court, then it's very hard to load up around the outside of the ball because you move in opposite directions. Mid-pace drives again from Palmer and Broderick. Cutting them. Good close from Randt, though. It's important to close off that net against Broderick Palmer.
See Mitchell wiping his hand on his pants in the middle of the point several times.
Yeah, it's hot out there. Great rep. Bad
Mitchell,
overhead
yep.
across the court there from Mitchell, setting up the big
15
forehand.
all.
15 all.
A little impatient with the overhead. Broderick, a little bit of a matrix move there to get out of the way of that one. It's almost like he wants him to hit that overhead.
He likes the low over. There's a little bit more. See, I like that one there too, that he brings into the backhand side of Palmer. Either way, we haven't seen the ability, barring... Oh, he was right there. And I'm curious if he let that drop.
30-15.
Dropped on the other side of the court, Mark?
Say it again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's
Everyone on
talking
the sidelines, please refrain from calling out. The players are calling their own lines.
Got
That's
it.
what he was saying, yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been Bradford.
You know, that's one of the rules. You can't bounce the ball off the back screen and have it come to the other side of the court. And that one was really, really close.
That first ball that Palmer picked up started it as a backhand and ended as a forehand. He was here and then he went this way.
40-15.
It had that much spin on it.
Yeah, a lot of action. Yeah, no, what I was about to say for that flurry before is we haven't seen a lot of Broderick Palmer's ability to hurt Durant and Mitchell yet. And with this newfound ability of Durant to decide to want to play some paddle,
Game Durant Mitchell score is 1-all.
that's the key.
Second
you know,
set.
is to find a way to hurt him at the net.
Yeah, again, as the match goes on, more and more of it is being played with Durant Mitchell at the net.
And we talk about that, having the ability to hold the net, or if you can't hold it, then the secondary ability you have to have, if you're in the backcourt, is you've got to be able to take some of those spin overheads from Durant off the deck and actually drive them, meaningfully drive them, not just push them back. You know, like Parsons was actually driving some of those in Philadelphia early on. And without that,
Well, that one was flying.
hard. He just couldn't get out of the way of it or couldn't let off.
But that's the overhead that Broderick keeps giving him.
Yeah, you think he's got to move it cross court more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost like he
is.
wants him to hit it.
Well, that's gonna. That's getting hit. Nope. Oh! You know what's funny about that is he actually hit Palmer in the last match
Love 15.
against Burster Nadoya. Similar situation where Palmer's racing across to the other side and somehow Broderick's not seeing it. And
I think he hit him in the stomach there as Jared was kind of turning.
he caught him in the back before. So great transition play.
That's one of the things Durant's trying to do.
Oh.
Great forehand for Mitchell.
Big.
I was going to say, Brad, that Mitchell's forehand
Love
has been
30.
decent, but not the level it was in the last match, and they still won the first set, and I expect him to get better.
Oh.
Wondering why
15-30.
Palmer was following that serve into the net.
Yeah, it was a hanger. Yeah, it's interesting because, Mark Powers has a pretty decent serve to the ad court, but Mitchell was just carving it up.
Crushing it.
That's great.
Amazing volley,
Yeah,
Broderick.
to me, Mitchell's ability to volley and be super solid is the first cornerstone, and then the drive is the second cornerstone that they need from Stephen Mitchell. And it makes that team so dangerous. See, I don't think Broderick can see these, because normally you don't hear you from Broderick that often.
And there's so much
15-40.
movement from Palmer that they're so difficult. I mean, he misses that volley because he's trying to recover.
Yep. Well, he's hitting the heavy roller, which is pulling him back off. And I think it's also just one of these things where we need a second Broderick and
Game
Palmer
Durant
to step back
Mitchell.
and say, listen,
They lead the
I
second
can't
set,
see. You
2
need to
games
get
to
these
1.
overheads.
Durant Mitchell won the first
I'm going to
set
cut these
6-4.
balls off at the net. And just be ready, because I'm not going to be saying me as
One
much.
more game on this ball.
And that last one, you saw the transition where Broderick tried to hit the little half volley.
Yeah, that's some. Randt Mitchell just closing in, but Broderick and Palmer haven't found an answer yet. And I got to think they're taking a moment here to think about how they want to go about this. They got to be able to hold the net a little bit. Clearly at this point, the backcourt offense, you know, that Mitchell and Durant are putting out there, it's just allowing them to take the net too often. And then when they get there, they don't have that specific answer to the spin overheads of Durant.
These 2 games are absolutely critical with Durant and Mitchell on the Sun side.
Yep, I agree.
I think Broderick Palmer have to take advantage. And there's the drop shot we talked about.
Yeah, if you can see those mid-pace drives, it's a real, real good opportunity to attack your team with the drop.
Great get from Broderick.
And as long as it doesn't sit up, it still pulls them out of position.
There's that lob again.
Yeah, because you have the 2 lobs either so down the line that it's basically the alley. So we got here technical difficulty.
Fifth love.
All right, so 15 love.
Spectacular cut winner there from Durant, and he goes back to the overhand serve. I think that's a really good decision against Broderick. He's always had one of the best serves to the ad court in the country. And Broderick is not one who really hurts you too much with return of serve.
Well, he just values the not missing of it so much.
Absolutely, but my point is you just don't want to fault against him.
Right.
And the sidearm serve, I mean, I wouldn't know personally, but a lot of people tend to fall with it.
I've seen your one attempt at the underhand serve.
None of them went wide.
And that's the best thing you could say for it.
This is a big moment in the match for Broderick Palmer.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I agree with you.
15 love, Durant Mitchell.
You know, the only answer right now has been to try to outlast them. And they're struggling with controlling the lobs well enough. The mid-pace drive, they're not getting any misses. They got a couple early in the first set, but those have dried up, Mark.
Yeah, the play has been rock solid.
And they're starting to read it, and they're able to close off the net. We're not even seeing Broderick looking for that ball in the middle yet. Expecting a point like this, that's the one shot he is going to look for unless they give him a forehand spike.
It's funny because Broderick is hitting fewer backhands than he did early in the match as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's putting it away right now and going to work on the mental game, meaning I will not miss. And if you play a point or two like that, you don't miss and you're able to get them. You didn't there. Then it works on the mental game.
30 love.
And how about the other way?
No, and if your opponents do win them, but at this point, what answers do they have? So maybe he's working it. Hey,
30-15.
maybe that long point led to that. But you're right. The other way, if you're a team over there and the other guys haven't hurt you and you know all you have to do is not miss, as long as you're fit enough, it's comforting to know.
Well, that was a really surprising miss there.
40-15.
Well, he might have, everybody has a shot clock too, including Palmer. And we've seen in the past, years ago, even when Broderick and Palmer were playing all the time, how you had, I believe it was Lipover and
Game, Durant, Mitchell. They lead
yeah,
the
but
second
maybe it's
set,
the same way.
3
It worked
games
the
to
other way.
1.
He played the really long point, lobbed it out. Well, now I'm going to hit a couple.
Missed 2 forehands there. The second one was kind of a non-committed swing from deep in the court.
Yeah, they weren't
Hold
even
on,
moving in.
Drew, new ball.
But what I was bringing up was, so you had, I believe it was Wilkinson and Lipover, and they had him up a set and basically in trouble in the second. And, Max Lipover came off and he said, even those guys have a shot clock. If you can wait them out, they might go for a shot that's relatively ill-advised. You just have to wait longer than you do against anyone else. And if you're willing to do it, it's possible that they'll make the errant ball and go for the big shot first.
Bradford, if it was anybody else, I'd say Broderick and Palmer would be in trouble right now. This match looks like it's going down the tubes. Now it's Broderick and Palmer, and they're relentless, as Drew said yesterday. But, boy, they seem like they're in a heap of trouble right now.
They are, and they actually look a little lost. But, we've seen this kind of thing before, and then the errors dried up. But right now, the issue is where are the errors coming from Mitchell and Durant? They haven't been. And there's one. But that was forced, so I'm going to say that's just a good shot.
15-30.
And that's good, but probably in the long run, Durant and Mitchell are happy with that, meaning they want him to be hitting more of those. They think their odds will probably be in their favor. The more he goes for them.
Well, he's missed 2 of the last 3.
Yep. Crushed that one, though.
Yeah. This is almost a must game for them.
Oh.
And for Durant Mitchell to hold here and go up a double break with 2 games on the shady side.
Sorry, excuse me.
15-40.
540.
Broderick calls out Aussie.
Good call. Do something different. Oh. And even with that, actually, Durant's missed a few returns today, a little more than normal.
30-40.
And like you were talking about, it all takes just a little momentum flip, right?
That was a forehand off the deck. Yeah, I expected Durant to drive.
Oh. I haven't seen Durant hit that cut overhead over there very often. That's a new addition. That's a terrific shot.
Broderick's being a little more aggressive in the overheads now.
On this side, there's no sun issues.
Well, I was saying that somewhat confirms your theory that he was struggling with it. Oh, that was a wild shot from Durant at a huge moment in the match.
Yep, and that's what you hope for, right?
Back to deuce, two break points saved. This would be huge if they could get out of this game. Tremendous mid-court forehand from Palmer.
Good shot at the nick there.
Boy, that ball comes off Mitchell's paddle, doesn't it?
Yeah, he fires in a pretty good forehand. Pretty flat, but he strikes it really well.
I mean, that was a good ball to swing at, but another wild miss.
Advantage Broderick Palmer.
Getting some misses now from Randt, then that's what you got to hope for, right? If you need a comeback, the best way to get it is from a few misses from your opponent, and that is a huge hold. Huge hold.
If they come back and win this match,
that'll be the game.
Mitchell
that'll
lead
be the
the
game that did
second
it.
set 3-2. Durant Mitchell won the first set 6-4.
Wow. Yeah, that was big. Some real tough metal there from from Palmer and Broderick, but little help out there from Durant.
So Stephen Mitchell serving, 3-2 second set.
And this is the time, if you can capture a little momentum.
Misses it wide.
15 love.
Another miss from Palmer.
30 love.
Do you think he's pressing a little, or? That's a good drive.
Great lob.
He's going to hit that on the run, but
Boy, that's a really questionable
40
decision for me,
love.
Bradford. He came from all the way on the other side of the court, and they were pretty tight in the net.
yep. I mean, you
If he makes that shot, so what?
you have every right to question. It wasn't high enough.
Wow, that was a fast game.
Durant Mitchell. Durant Mitchell lead the second set 4-2.
After losing
Little
the
bit of
game before
frustration.
that, they didn't blink at all.
No,
And Palmer opens with a fault.
Love 15.
usually a very reliable serve. Missed that one.
When he's playing maybe the best. Oh, Jesus Christ!
How about that?
Bradford, oh my God. Was
I mean,
that like
was like,
boom, 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 boom?
you remember that
Love
game
30.
Pong when we were
Yeah,
kids?
yeah.
In the boom, 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 boom. That was great.
We got to see that again.
Well,
Oh
you
my-
need to slow the action down. You
Yeah,
need
I don't think I saw it the first time, honestly.
a camera with 50 time volume and oof,
Oh, this going
Love
down the tubes
40.
fast,
Love
Bradford.
40.
quickly.
Missed that one.
Good job. Good lead by
15-40.
Palmer.
Boy, if they could dig their way out of this one, the pressure would really shift.
They did
If-
it last game.
If they could dig their way
Yep.
out.
It's a bigger hole.
Big miss from Palmer and a
Game
questionable
Durant
decision,
Mitchell.
and it's 5-2.
Durant Mitchell lead the second set,
Here's
5
that
games
amazing
to 2.
exchange.
Durant Mitchell won the first set 6-4.
Be helpful if it was on super slow-mo. There
Well,
we
it's going
go.
to take about 10 minutes to show the point
Right.
on such super slow-mo. 1,
Boom.
2,
Dink.
3,
Fast, fast,
4,
fast.
5, 6. Oh!
And when you see it in that, you cannot appreciate how fast that was.
BTIG is a global financial services firm specializing in institutional trading, investment banking, research, and related brokerage services. With an extensive global footprint, more than 600 employees, BTIG operates have 18 cities throughout the U.S., Europe, Asia, and Australia.
All right.
Okay, Bradford, 1 game away. These guys have cruised through the draw. I don't think they've lost a set. I don't know if they've played a close set.
Yeah, they have just been on fire and on a mission. And it's been such a pleasure watching Durant do this. He misses that there, though.
Love 15.
But still, got to close it out. There's still some momentum to be gained out there. If they don't close it here, things can get tight in a hurry, Mark.
Things shift so quickly in a platform tennis match. Big shout-outs to the entire APTA crew. Ann Sheedy, Amin Kadari, Tiernan Kavana, Nindy Pike, Jackie Cameron,
And a
Isabel
host
Caban back in Chicago.
of volunteers.
Just an amazing job. The ENET crews, spectacular job. We're hitting all-time highs for people watching. Wow, Durant with another careless miss.
Love 30.
We know closing is hard, Brad.
Closing is hard. And it's the hardest thing in giving your opponent some momentum. It's funny how it all starts to work in a direction. It's seen so many times. We see it all the time.
The nice part from Durant Mitchell's perspective is they got 2 games coming up in the shade if they don't win this one, which it looks like they're not,
Great let cord.
Love 40.
as opposed to a not great let cord.
Absolutely.
Oh, that one short hopped the snowboard.
Yeah.
15-40.
Strange miss from Broderick.
Looking around. And this is where it gets tricky getting to the finish line too. You don't want to think you have to get there, you know, like you have to start hitting better shots than you hit before. You got to keep playing the
Do
way
what you've been doing.
you have. You don't want to dial it down too conservatively, because then you're playing. It's sort of like that prevent defense in football, right? Where you prevent
Prevents you
yourself
from winning. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know. So Durant still needs to be attacking when he gets the right overheads to do it with, and then just got to look for the balls that they want to close in on the mid-pace drives.
Broderick Palmer just been unable to hurt them.
Nope.
A couple isolated balls, but for the most part, just been impervious.
And the Broderick backhand that we've seen with him peppering the ball, moving to the center, attacking the ball, we just haven't seen it today, except for sparingly.
Early.
Yep, and we haven't seen it since, and then the ones we've seen since have been hit or miss. And of course, you can say it's just a testament to the terrific play of Mitchell and Durant. No miss mode.
Brad, don't do that to him again.
See if I can affect the outcome of the point one way or the other. What's interesting, though, is they're just not going to Palmer at all.
Spectacular cut winner. And Palmer looked a little weary to me kind of going after that
30-40.
Well, he didn't hit 50 balls in a row, and then he was just a little flat-footed. I think that is one of the hardest things in the game, Fault.
Durant falls
Game
to
Broderick
5-3.
Palmer. Durant Mitchell lead the second set, 5-3.
So one more
job.
game on the sunny side for Durant Mitchell. And maybe one more game in the season. But again, that game, that entire game was controlled by Durant.
Yep.
And then you saw the miss there. Whether that was the sun or not,
15
hard
love.
to tell.
No, but they're coming in batches now. I mean, that
Yeah.
game was not. I mean, you say it was, of course, won by Broderick Palmer. It was mostly lost by Durant
Yes.
Mitchell.
That was my point. And when Drew Broderick smells misses like that, he's just going to get more patient than ever. Now even Mitchell's going back to Broderick. What do you think? Oh,
There it
another miss
is.
from Durant.
Yeah, but he's cracking. Is he cracking or is he just
30
missing?
love.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. Now, why do you think that Durant Mitchell are playing so many balls to Broderick right now?
I really don't have an answer. I would like to see them move the ball around. The fact that they're so content to just play a point that has like no end to it, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, whereas if you go in there and move the ball around, the ball's going to speed up a little, and that's good for them.
That's what they want.
Yeah, but they're not playing it that way.
Another great volley from Broderick.
He's just so good with that backhand volley and his positioning.
This is the drive long.
40 love.
40 love.
Things are tightening up.
Tightening up incredibly. That'll probably not be dug out.
Surprising drive from Broderick.
40-15.
He's been in that super patient mode.
Well, I think he just couldn't control that, Mark.
Think couldn't control it.
Yeah. I think he was just digging it out and happy to get it over. That sun is straight up ahead. It's going to get hit.
Forehand volley from Broderick.
Yep. Wow. Ah! I think he was going to go almost for behind the back was Palmer.
I would have believed it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about. I understand the willingness to play paddle and keep the ball going, but I don't understand the willingness to keep it going every time to Broderick.
That last one that Palmer hit, the first ball he's hit from the backcourt, and
Oh,
great ball there.
got that.
Back to
40-30.
40-30.
Because when Broderick goes into no-miss mode, you have to win her like that, and that's just not that easy. Great hold. The pro-Broderick people in the crowd
Game
rejoice.
Broderick Palmer. Durant Mitchell lead the second set 5-4. Durant Mitchell won the first set 6-4.
And things just got really
Really tight.
interesting, Mark, and really tight. Now, they are on the better side, but when you start making these errors, and they've come in those batches, they feed on themselves.
What do you think, Bradford? Break or hold?
I think it's going to be a long while. We'll see. It's been funny how it's been batches. You play the long while point and then a couple of misses. But right now, my biggest concern is Durant taking this to the finish line. You
Yeah,
know,
I think they're holding here.
love to see it. But either way, it's a test. Because this is what we're talking about with the new Durant. Does he have the willingness to do one thing or the other? But here, I don't mind him speeding that point up like that. I think it's good.
All of a sudden, he's going back at Palmer a little bit.
I think he should. He should be rolling some balls in there.
Do you think playing Broderick in the back before was sun-related more? Although it was when they were on the shady side.
Yeah.
It
no.
might have been easier to see the ball coming out of Broderick's corner.
Well, it may not be a surprise. I mean, we had 2 game swings either way. So it was 3-2 when Durant and Mitchell went to the shade, to the sun at the backside, and they came away 5-2, right? And then it was 5-4 when they left. So there could be absolutely a correlation between the sunny side and the sun at your backside and the sun in your face side. But
what I'm saying is that it's easier for Durant when he's on the sunny side to see the ball coming out of the backhand corner than the forehand corner.
that's a good question. I don't know. Possibly. And the sun's almost directly straight ahead at this point.
But it would explain why Durant was playing everything exclusively into Broderick's corner there, and now he's switched back.
Not completely switched back, but
But he's clearly playing more balls to Palmer. He played no balls to Palmer last game.
yep. And he
That
got that
is-
one. That's the way.
So brave.
Well, look,
15 love.
he's missed a bunch, but that was one of the better looks that he's gotten. And his ability to hit that's tremendous. There you go. Broderick heating up, moving around, looking for the backhand like that.
Whoa. Oof. Ball almost hit him.
Yeah, screened him a little. That's going out. 15 all.
You just don't want to hit that
15
down-up
all.
overhead into Palmer's side wire.
Well, part of what happens, too, when you start playing these rope-a-dope points, when you're just sitting there and putting every ball back, when you finally hit one, it becomes surprising. You hit 8,000 balls and you keep pushing the guy back, and you're doing less of the mid-pace drives now, a little less. it becomes harder to close back in and to be as ready from shot to shot, and it sort of feeds itself. That's a great cut.
But that's the lob
30,
that Broderick
15.
has insisted on hitting, and that's when we talked about loading, and
Yep.
that's the one he gets the most spin on. Mitchell served a really solid game.
Oh, you trying to jinx him?
I don't have the power you have.
Mark, the power's always been within you. You just have to access it.
Durant wanted to hit that one.
Great shot. He's going to overhead it. Cut off from Mitchell. Surprising
Shocking.
miss. Takes
Shocking.
us
40,
to
15.
double match point.
Double championship point.
One saved. Great return
40,
from Palmer.
30.
Broderick Palmer have saved match points before at Nationals.
Oh, I thought the spike was coming. Nope. Like
And
it.
there
That'll
it
do
is.
it.
Game,
Set, match.
Durant Mitchell,
Durant Mitchell, we have a
6'4",
new
6'4".
national champion.
Kudos to Mitchell and Durant, committed to a season with a terrific partnership. The new Durant coming out playing paddle,
played, guys. Well
withstanding the
played.
long points, getting rid of the shot clock, but
Just
still
awesome
maintaining
play.
that incredible skill set that he has, an unmatched skill set really in the game.
Okay. We're going to take a fast break, and we'll be back after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. For Rolex and tennis, the tradition began in 1978 and has grown to include the most iconic majors and tournaments since, supporting the legends, champions, and rising stars committed to the future of the game. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
It's a 60-year love affair, as passionate as the day it began. It's where the dream and the reality are one and the same. It's safety in its most exhilarating form. It is the 2020 E-Class, the quintessential Mercedes-Benz, made new all over again. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
2020 Men's National Championships. On behalf of the APTA, I want to thank you all for being here all weekend. You guys have been an amazing crowd. I think we've had some incredible paddle, and I feel truly lucky and privileged to be here and have, brought this to you all, along with Mark Fischel and Carl Levenot. So I just want to thank our generous national sponsors. Of course, Viking, Uline, Fusion, Upswing Health, Clark Trophies, and then once again, we've had amazing local sponsors that without their help, we couldn't have put on this tournament. I want to thank BTIG, Performance Physical Therapy, Remedy Plus, Pure Insurance, Randt Insurance, Yashmin Lloyds from Compass, HSS, Josh Sellers, Moffley Media, Little Fancy Spritzers, Dano's Tequila, Keel Vodka, and Old Farm Partners. So with that, I want to congratulate and bring up our finalists, Drew Broderick and Jared Palmer.
Go there first.
Thank you.
Good match.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah.
Good job this week.
Yeah, thanks. You guys, wait, it's going over your hat. We got it. There you go.
Thank
Get
you.
it this way.
Thank you.
So guys, I know this wasn't the result you wanted, but Jared, it's just astonishing to me that you can not play paddle the whole year and come back and spend a week practicing and almost win a national championship. How'd you do it?
I don't know. I got a good partner, so yeah.
I would say you have a great partner, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, I surprisingly I just have to get my timing back a little bit, and I did play for a week, and
A whole week? It was the whole week you
yeah.
played?
Yeah. And but it does affect me a little bit, I think. Yeah, but it is what it is, and nothing taken away from these guys. I don't know if I were at my best, we could have beat them today. They were very, very solid in every aspect of the game, and they're a great team, and they've improved a lot. They've stuck together and figured out how to be really a tough team. So it was fun to play against them.
Drew, you guys, when you won here in 2016, remember you telling me it was one of the finest moments of your paddle career. And I think the atmosphere must have been so much fun to play in front of.
Yeah, Darien does a great job. I did say that last time we were here, this was the best nationals, and I could say the same for today. So thanks for everyone being here. I know you guys put a lot of work into this, and somewhat of a thankless job to run nationals, but you guys kill it. So congrats.
Well, we appreciate it. Jared, are we going to see more of you next year? Because we really like having you around.
I don't know. It's a little early for that. I don't know. Hopefully.
I haven't seen you all year. I haven't had a chance to ask the question.
I'll see you in a year.
Drew, any thank yous before I let you go?
Just my family. I see a lot of Canoebrook members that drove up for today, so thank you all.
And of course, Vince, your lucky charm, who you almost never lose with. Okay, guys, congratulations and great effort.
So we do have 4 national champions now on the court, but the 2020 men's national champions, Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell, please come up. Congratulations. Very well done.
Queen. Guys, congratulations. Johan, you guys were up 5-2. You played a couple of dodgy games. It looked like things were getting a little tight. What was going through your mind?
I think the sun was going through my eyes. That's probably best for most of it. Could only play the one corner, it's kind of tricky, but obviously you get a little tight too. But hey, they played solid, and that side's very tricky to play because you can't play the deuce side, so you can only play the edge side, so it made it a little tricky. And I tried to press like I always do, but hey, partner slowed me down.
Stephen, you served a really terrific game at the end. What were you thinking closing out your first national championship? Let me say that again. Your first national championship. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
It does. Thank you very much. I was just thinking, put the serve in, make a volley, and then let Johan do the rest. That's pretty much what I thought, and it worked.
That's very smart.
I've learned well. I've been taught. Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to learn to play like Steven and Johan, how should you learn to play?
That's a good question. Steve says he was thinking. I wasn't thinking at that point, so I don't know. He's a little smarter than me, but that's probably why he's better.
Okay, Johan, this is 4 national championships to you with 3 different partners. A remarkable accomplishment, speaks not only your talents as a player, but also as a partner.
Yeah, I think I said earlier, Steve's a great partner for me. It's easier when you come. It sounds bad, but it's easier when you come from the same culture. You understand things a little bit differently. And hey, we can speak about the same stuff. It's fun for us to travel together. So all that helps. And hey, it keeps me calm, and we're having fun. As long as we're having fun, we'll keep doing it.
Okay, well, congratulations, guys. I want to thank everybody at Darien for all their efforts. It's been an absolute spectacular season, and this concludes the 2019-2020 streaming season of the APTA. And that's a wrap, delivered by Uline.